Christ who calls us. Amen. And after that psalm, I just felt so full up, I was ready to go home. I felt like I'd been to church. And I think I'm also feeling full up because I'm seeing all these beautiful red shirts back there and enjoying the bells. And our good friends from Longview United Methodist are with us. I mean, just, a couple hundred feet away. They're doing their thing. They're worshiping in our chapel. You may have heard about the fire department making an experiment of their parish hall. But it's been burned down, thanks be to God. And they thought, well, it might be kind of nasty over there today, so we invited them to join us here. But we're going to get to have fellowship with them at Coffee Hour. So please, even if you're not normally a Coffee Hour fan, come over and welcome them and connect with them. It'll be a really nice time. And it just gives me so much joy. I just love that group of people, and we are so fortunate to be brothers and sisters in faith and be able to share this today. Richard pointed out to me a meme on Facebook the other day, and it showed this little bitty ant towing this great big blossom of some sort. And the subtitle was, "Ant Going Home to Apologize to His Wife." Those who humble themselves shall be exalted. When I was a girl, I was not raised in a very religious home, but I absorbed a certain amount of religion from the culture around me. And I understood that, the Ten Commandments. And I understood the principle of heaven and hell. And my best friend had a little sister named Sheila. We used to call her the Sheila Monster. She was 5, and man, she was fiery. And I think if I knew her now, she would probably be my friend. She would probably be my best friend and not my best friend, who was kind of a sweet girl. But Sheila was a house of fire. But we had, she could be hard to have around because she was a younger sister, right? She was a younger sister. So, and she was known to do what she needed to do to get her way because, one has to when one is the younger sister. One has to be devious and persistent. And Sheila would not always be truthful. Sheila would not always be truthful. So one day, I had caught Sheila in one of her moments. And I don't know what possessed me, but I decided to give her a tongue lashing. It was my first experience as a preacher. And I really gave it to her. I gave her the hellfire speech about the Ten Commandments and lying and going to hell for, doing bad things. And I was really waxing eloquent, man. I was really kind of getting into my space. And all of a sudden I was aware of this presence behind me. Sheila's mother had entered the room. And I don't remember what Sheila's mother said to me. All I know is that those who exalt themselves will be humbled. She reduced me to rubble. I think that is my first memory of self-righteousness. And thanks be to God, it goes right alongside my first memory of having my self-righteousness deflated. Powerful experiences. Jesus is inviting us to something that is quite counterintuitive. I think everything in the human mind is geared towards, not everything in the human mind, there is a very strong force in the human mind that is geared towards separating ourselves from one another and sorting ourselves out. Are we better? Are we worse? Or are we equal? And it is a natural human proclivity. We will do that. I mean, we'll walk in a room and I'll look for the other white middle-aged woman to go talk to when I meet strangers. And I'll also check her out to see if she looks dressed kind of like me. If I think we have enough in common and that she'll treat me as an equal, I'll go talk to her. Whereas I might not go talk to the white guy in the business suit who looks like he's got a lot more money than I do. Or I might not go speak to the person of color who looks like they have a lot more money than I do. Or a lot less. You know what I'm saying? We sort ourselves out this way. It's a strange habit, but it's something we do. And I don't think we need to judge it. I think we mainly need to notice it. But it runs amok in us. It runs amok in us if we don't notice it. And we run grave danger of the kind of crazy stuff I was doing to my little friend Sheila. The point that Jesus is making is that pride is what separates us from God. Not so much sin. You can do bad things, and that will definitely impact your relationship with God. That will cut you off in a certain way, but only for so long. All you have to do is turn from it to be forgiven. But the problem with pride is it sets us on this path of I'm good enough, I'm better than, I'm on my way, and it just kind of writes out any opportunity for connection to divine love. Because divine love is never, ever, ever earned. Can't be earned. Can't be earned. And the moment we think we earn it, we have actually effectively cut ourselves off from it. Thinking about the experience of earning praise or earning appreciation or earning honor. Those things, they feel so good. When we've done something that is valuable and someone else recognizes it, it's a wonderful thing. But it is a dangerous thing in relationship if it's the only basis for relationship. Think also of the moment of just relaxing in the arms of a beloved when you are in a moment of crisis or weakness. And think about how that feels. I'm sure at some moment in our lives, even if we have to go back to childhood, we can touch that moment. When the love that was offered to us was not because we'd done right or been strong, but the love was offered to us just because of the connection. You know, I experience that frequently with my beloved who thinks I'm beautiful. When I don't. And that's a choice on his part. It's a choice and it's a proof of an ongoing relationship where we just choose to make ourselves vulnerable to each other, and it changes our perceptions, alters them in a really nice way. In a really nice way. There ceases to be objective truth in that sense of judging. And I think that's what Jesus is trying to get us to back away from, is that judgment, that constant judgment that decides whether we're worthy or someone else is worthy or not. But to help us instead to live in a mode of interconnectedness with the divine and with one another, interdependency and vulnerability. I'm going to tell a story that Dave Hansen shared this morning in Bible study. I just thought it was so great. It was a study of chickens. And they took the chickens, and there was the control group that they just left alone to breed and reproduce. And then there was the study group. And the study group, over 6 generations, the researcher just selected the most productive chickens and let them, and kept them, and separated out the others. And over time, what happened, after 6 generations, what was left of the control group was a pretty healthy group. They'd actually improved their productivity. But the study group actually had I'm really into fungus these days. Back to the hummus idea, that stuff breaks down and creates this lively mass of life. And that the fungus actually creates, in terms of biotic mass, more than what you see above ground. I mean, like in a forest, you see the trees, there's more fungus than trees by weight under the ground. Crazy, crazy, crazy idea, but it's true. The fungus is microscopic, or not microscopic, it's very small. You have to have really good eyes or magnifiers to see it. And it is this web of interconnectedness. And it connects tree A to tree B across vast spaces and takes nutrients. The fungus gathers the minerals out of the ground that the trees need. Their roots can't do it without the fungus. And the fungus wraps around the roots of the trees. And I can't remember how much of this I've told you already because I love this story and I've been telling it everywhere. But the point is that this humility, this groundedness, this being of the ground, this being of the humus, this being of the earth, is about not seeing our separateness and not measuring ourselves better or worse, or over or lower, but understanding our interdependency, welcoming it, and living into it with joy. And what this poor man did when he said he was so glad he wasn't like the other human being was separate himself. And when he cut himself off from relationship with that other human being, he actually cut himself off from divine energy. Because that's the way divine energy works, is by connection. Now, I'm not saying God left him alone. He'd have fallen into dust particles if God had left him alone. But he cut himself off from that awareness and from living into that truth. So when Jesus talks about who's justified and who is not, he's talking about who is justification means making right in relationship. The one who made himself right in relationship was the one who just said, I'm a mess. When Jesus says those who will be humble will be exalted and exalted humble, those who are exalted will be humble. And those who are humble will be exalted. It's not like they're just switching places. Because then you'd have to switch again, wouldn't you? So it's not about grovel now so you can go to heaven later. And heaven will be a place where you don't have to grovel anymore. But it's like come into this new place. Come into this new place. Come out of your sense of self-sufficiency and superiority. Let go of it. And enjoy some groundedness and humility and belonging to one another and connecting to one another. Let go of it. Come into this other place where we can all be together, I love this book. We preach about that about once a month too. And if you get close, you'll see there are a zillion tiny pieces, like those little diamonds. They're just little pieces. And when you sit back there, it creates a cohesive vision. And when you get up close, there's just a bunch of small pieces that belong to one another. Okay, I'll tell you another story. I was gardening one day before my irises. A bunch of just ordinary purple irises. A friend of mine had given, she had scads of them, and so she gave me a bunch, and I had, and there's their first blossom, and I was really excited to see their first blossom. And when you stand at a little distance, they all look alike. Just kind of this beautiful swath of color. But I was getting close to weed in between and pull up some weeds, and as I was doing that, I